giving the penalty. And Hassan Sani manages to reach it, but it still goes in. But he fights up his goal instead. Great ball in.
Clear chance here. It has gone in. And Albirex Niigata have got the equaliser.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Center Circle with me, Ash Hashim. And today I tell you guys we have very special guests joining me, in the show. And of course they are very well known in the Singapore football scene. They are 4 times SPL Singapore Premier League champions. Albirex Niigata is joining me. Thank you so much all of y'all for joining. Of course we have goalkeeping coach Fadil Salim, Hairul Nizam Jumal, who's of course, a goalkeeper of the team, as well as Dominic Wong, who is the team manager. Firstly, thank you so much, guys, for joining. And I just want to start, with a little bit of questions about your preparation for the new season. Fadil, how has the prep been, on your end?
It's a very interesting situation right now because of COVID, right? A lot of restriction and all that. But I think overall we managed to get going with our preparing of the season, and also I think we are working towards the plan and also our targets for the season as well. I think everything is working very well, and hopefully we can get all things going and we start the season nicely for us this season.
And of course, you guys, it was right down to the wire for you guys last season as well. Second in the table, very close to even nipping Lions TCLS, to the title. Dominic, let's follow up with that question about the preparation. How important is preparation for you, and the club as well during this crucial stage of the year? Yeah.
Well, I understand that even now it's a more smooth sailing, but towards the end of last year, because most of our players are from Japan, so with the COVID measures, they need to be fully vaccinated to come in. So unlike previous years when they can actually come in one whole batch, this year they had to actually come in different batches. So that actually sort of disrupt the training plan and schedule. But of course, the ideal situation is to have everyone together. But as what our head coach Yoshinaga said, it is no excuses and no reasons for us to, because of some players being overseas, we shouldn't, working at a lower rate or because of our performance as well. So we actually still train very hard for each training. And I can see that the players are actually very motivated for training as well. So that I think is a good point you can take away from the preparations so far.
And of course, just a bit of a reminder, we are giving away a few pairs of tickets to the Charity Shield game. So stay tuned until the end of the show to find out how you can win that. Let's go now to Hairul. Welcome to the show, Hairul. Many Singaporeans know you as well, for your role at Albirex. But I want to ask you, how has the preparation been, for yourself as well as the club?
Always been pre-season. It's always been difficult for every player who is going through this phase. As you can see, the coach always demand a lot of physical and mental during this phase. So as you can see, I'm getting darker and darker each day because of the training regime. But so far so good. The camp is ready to go for this Charity Shield game.
Yeah, and I'm speaking of that, maybe can you share with us? I've heard that you have a new role at the club, and it's a very important role actually. So can you take me through what that role is?
Okay, I've taken up this role since I joined Albirex. So is a goalkeeper coach for the COE team. So my job is basically to identify a few young goalkeepers in the club and nurture them and get them into the next step, which is playing in the professional level.
All right, and Fadil and Dominic, let's go to you now. Talking about the upcoming season ahead, it's a long season, right? So Fadil, we're talking about pre-season, but personally for you, you're working with the players themselves. How has the vibe been within the team so far?
I think the vibe has been very good so far with the players. So basically, we have different Japanese players coming in together at the moment, and the gel between the players is quite good. Atmosphere, everything, because we have Tanadari, the Japanese player, who's actually has shown very good leadership in terms of characters to bring the players together, motivating the player as well. And as for the local, we have Alau and Fairuz as well to help to blend them together. And I feel so far has been good. So far, atmosphere and the team morale has been very good. I think slowly are working towards what we want to achieve this season as well. And hopefully with the season go on as well, I think we can achieve what we are looking for the targets this season.
And Dominic, speaking of Tadanari, right? I mean, obviously, former Japan international player, came in with a huge CV, and I'm sure many Singaporeans are excited to see him. But what was the strategy, and why did Albirex decide to sign a player like him?
Well, I think Lee Tadanari has a lot to give on the training grounds. Actually, everyone look up to him as like a mentor. So every after training, he actually comes to the players to correct them, to give them guidance.
Wow.
And the players are actually very, very willing to actually listen to him. So even the coach is very impressed by his actions. So I think with that addition, it actually he's able to give a lot of very real experience to the younger players. And one thing about these younger players that Lee himself has said is that they are very young and very eager to prove something. So I think this kind of relationship between having an experienced player and a very young team actually serves to inspire him as well to do better for the club and to lead the club in a winning direction.
And I'm not sure if many Singaporeans know this, but Albirex is very special in the sense that you guys every year have a different roster, or you try to change, a lot of your players. Can you maybe explain why is that so? Is that a Albirex brand or identity that you guys live by, so that the Singaporeans can understand? Yeah.
Yes, so every year our squad tends to change a lot. So we actually retain a few Japanese players who are actually willing to stay, or they are good enough. And then the remaining of the players, because some of them are still studying or they just came from university, they go back to Japan to further their career. Or some of them actually move on to other SPL clubs in Singapore. So I think we're actually giving more young players a chance as well to actually come into Albirex and play, no matter whether they are from Japan or from Singapore.
So Hairul, I mean, let's go to you right now and let's talk about Tanadari. And obviously, you have trained with him so far. And I just wanted to pick up on what Dominic said. So far, what have you learned from him, or what have you seen your teammates picking up from him? Because it's a very interesting experience, right, to be able to train with someone of that stature.
It's been an honor to work with Tadanari, because I think he got a lot of experience and trophies under his belt. So like Dominic said, a lot of players and myself also come to him also asking for advices on how we do this and how we do that during the training. And it's quite an honor, because I think this is the second Japanese international that I've worked with. Right, previously was Toda, and I've been lucky to have worked like this kind of player, because I think the record shows for himself, and we can learn much from these players.
Yeah, and can you just share with us as well what is some of the advice that he gave to you as well as the players?
Like for example, is the winning mentality that we need to adapt as a player. For example, what do you want to achieve during the game and during training, and the way he brings himself up to project himself during the training and games, so that everyone will have the same idea and objective going through the season.
Oh, great stuff. And now let's move on to the Charity Shield, guys. It's a big game. You guys are 2 days away, and I just want to get your thoughts, Fadil. Not just about the team prep, but obviously you can't share with me all the technical elements, but I know please do share what are the team's thoughts and also the whole preparation going into this game. And of course there is a very good chance that you guys will actually beat LCS, because football, the ball is round, isn't it, Fadil?
Yeah. So basically, I think for the Japanese player and also for all the players, I think they are very excited to be playing in this Charity Shield. I think this is like a big tournament, because it's so-called start of the season, and also you will determine a little bit of what's going to happen in the future as well of the season, because you will it's the start of the season. Which team will get to settle down quick or are able to have a good game on that particular match will determine a little bit of confidence to everyone. Yep. So I believe that everyone is ready to go, especially the younger ones and the new players as well. They need to show what they are capable of doing, because they have to be fighting for their place to play in the first 11. And I think this is a good chance if those whoever selected to play to prove their worth to the players and to the teams and also to the fans, to show what they are made for and why they are here playing for Albirex as well. So I feel that it's going to be very exciting, obviously, and really looking forward to see what's going to happen on Saturday.
And obviously, you work very closely with the head coach as well, and obviously he's not here with us. But I wanted to get your thoughts. What do you think is going to be his strategy going into this game? Because I'm sure LCS is going to field their strongest players, and so are you guys. Is it all to play for, or is he going to field the best of the best? And I'm sure that Tanadari is going to make an appearance, right?
So to be honest, Coach Yoshi is a very winning mentality coach. He demands a lot of things from the players. He wants the players to perform to their best, and eventually he's helping the players as well, as they are quite young and they are developing as well to further their football career. And what I can say is that he's someone who wants the best out of the players as well. And I believe that any players that he put up to play, they will do their best to perform on Saturday for the fans and for the team as well.
Yeah, and to add on to that, Dominic, what Fadil said, I think many Singapore football, viewers know the Albirex have always been known as the fighting team. You guys always fight till the end and never give up. So, speaking of that, we have a long season ahead. What is I would say, the goal for the club this season?
I think one thing that is very striking here is winning. I think it's been shared across every single one of us, from the officials to each player. So, our club's slogan, this is actually forward. We have brought back our former head coach, Yoshinaga. This is a testament that we want to actually, win the SPL title and win the Singapore Cup as well. And it means that we also want to forget about our past achievements, our mistakes we have done in the past, and really just start from where we are and then progress from where we are. And we just want to keep winning each game, taking one game at a time. And if we have mistakes made along the way, we correct them and we move forward. And hopefully this forward also encapsulates us unlocking the players' potential and their future. So that's our mentality for this season.
Wow, okay, great stuff. And of course, you guys can stay tuned till the end of the show to find out how we can win tickets to the Charity Shield. And Fadil, I want to ask you, this one is it might sound a bit controversial. If you don't want to answer it, it's fine. But I want to talk a bit about what the other teams are doing. I'm sure some of your rivals have been spending exorbitant amounts of money on players. And as a coach, I wanted to ask, do you think this is a sustainable way forward in Singapore football? Because Albirex traditionally have always not gone down that route. You guys have always chosen to develop your own players. And I guess I would say the Japanese mentality, right? Of excellence and all that. So do you think that's a sustainable model for Singapore football? Is that something that you guys see yourself doing as well in future?
I think it's a very good question. And I think that for Albirex itself, our ways of how we look into the season and how we build the team is totally different, and how the other local teams are playing and doing also, because the local teams are trying to, because I think LCS make a statement, and I think the other clubs as well are trying their best not to follow, but try to get in par with them as well, which I think will be good for the league, will be good for Singapore football moving forward. But whatever they are trying to do, hopefully is something that will help them to sustain, and also is very important in the long run to look at it, because nowadays as a Singaporean as well, we want Singapore football to grow as much as we can, and whatever the clubs are trying to do, I hope it's always going to be a long run thing rather than be a short term thing. It's because they will help us in terms of Singapore football, which I think when I join Albirex, I think that's something which I see that will help the Singapore football as well. When Albirex bring in that mentality to challenge as well, that's the reason why the league is getting much and more interesting as well and exciting as moving forward. So I think it's a good thing that we see this is what's happening in Singapore football right now.
And I just wanted to ask and add on to that, can you correct me on this, on whether it's true that Albirex will only need to field one under-23 player of Singaporean nationality in your starting lineup, right? So
yes.
Can you take me through this ruling, because it was actually only reached only a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah, if I'm not wrong, the last few years, Albirex had to field a minimum of 2 Singaporean players for at least one half. But this year, because I think they want to make the league more competitive, we actually only have to field 1 Singaporean for at least a half, the first half. So I think that actually makes things more competitive. But that doesn't mean that we compromise on our local players. If everyone has the ability and the coach deems him having a good chance at the game, of course he'll be fielded. So I don't think that really affects us much. But of course, it gives us another option to of course look at how our team tactics and will be.
Oh, that's very interesting actually. And Hairul, I mean, you and a few others as well. I think Nikki Melvin Singh, also a local player, and a few others, Singaporean players. Is there like a distinction for you guys? I know it might sound controversial, but with you and the Japanese players, are you guys one group, or are there cliques, or are you guys able to find a way to meet common ground? Because at the end of the day, football is a beautiful game, and we all speak the same language, right?
Yeah, you can't escape from the cliques and the what
Yeah.
you call from the groups in every football team.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sorry. So for me, I think the Singaporeans all will be one side, because the Japanese also will be with us to talk. But I think it's the what you call the common language, and the communication is a bit hard. So sometimes we joke around and all that. To tease each other that your English is bad. You're in Singapore for 2 years already, then you still can't speak English. Yeah, these are the things that will cheer them up, and all that. We'll try to be
Yeah.
blended with them, but it's very difficult because they can't speak our language and they can't speak our language. So it's like duck and chicken. But thankfully, I think football is a common language. Everyone understand during on the pitch. That's the most important. That's the most important thing. And Coach Yoshinaga always, like, for example, when he does a training session, we will have a translator that who can translate us, so that he wants everyone to understand what's their roles on the pitch. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like, for example, for English, I think shouldn't be a problem. It's just that we want to talk like for example, like this show want to talk to each other. It's a bit difficult. Sometimes I have to take out my phone and what do you call Google Translate. Say, hey, this is the one you should go. This this a bit difficult. So yeah, it's a fun thing to do. I've been using this, like, for example, like 4 years already. So it's already, like, what do you call, for really common for me already. It's like
That's
normal.
really,
Yeah.
that's really interesting, because I've always wondered how you guys communicated, and obviously the results on the pitch is everything, but it's nice to know that's how things work as well. Dominic, I want to ask you a bit about the CSR program that you guys have, if you don't mind explaining. You do something with a Yuhua Community Club, am I right? A bit about
Yes,
the program.
yes,
Yeah.
that's right. Albirex has actually been very involved in the community, especially for Yuhua, for a very long time. Since 2013, our football club actually has collaborated with Yuhua CSC. So as part of the MOU signed, we've actually donated $1 for every fan that actually attended our home game. And then at the end of the season, all this money, the sum, will be actually donated to the beneficiaries as identified by the CSC. So from 2013 until 2019, we've actually raised about close to 140,000.
Wow.
And that's about 20,000 per year. So, but the unlucky thing is that for the past 2 years, due to COVID, we're unable to do this. But of course, if the situation permits, we'll continue to do this as far as we can support Yuhua. So also, apart from this, we've also launched the Yuhua Albirex Football Academy in 2014 to develop, the skills of all the boys and girls living in Yuhua community. So, even though COVID, again, we couldn't host much of these kind of football clinics or even football activities, we're still very actively involved in the Yuhua community. So, like recently, the players actually, before Chinese New Year, they went up to the senior citizens' home in Yuhua to give out rice and wish them Happy New Year. And also the charity walk that they went for last November. So I think there's a lot for us to do with the community here in Yuhua, because this is a community where we're actually playing in and also playing for. So of course we want to actually let the residents come in to watch our games, as well as we are helping them. It's a form of giving back to the community.
Wow, that's really noble, I have to say, and great job, because it's so hard, especially in this day and age in football, where it's all about money making. And nice to know that you guys are doing this for the community. And I need to add in this because I keep getting asked as well about scholarships, and you guys, you just mentioned the Yuhua Academy and Yuhua Albirex Academy. So is it technically possible for a young Singaporean kid, if he wants to play for Albirex one day, would that be the starting point for him, the Yuhua academy, and how does he get his start? He or she, yeah.
See, we have actually thought this through for a very long time. So apart from the Yuhua Football Academy, for the Yuhua side, actually last December, we've launched the Albirex Singapore Football Academy. And this actually is for all kids in Singapore and for different ages as well. So they can actually join the academy. And our long-term plan for this is that for them to, eventually, once they graduate from the academy, or if we spot any promising, talented young footballers, for them to become a feeder into our youth teams in Albirex. So of course, then eventually they can reach the top team. So there's actually a pathway that we're looking at. And then Albirex is not just a foreign or a Japanese team. We want to actually bring the Albirex kind of football, the Japanese football, and this culture into the Singapore football. So it's not just a Japanese team coming here to play football, and it's just that.
I forgot to ask one question, which is a very important one. Dominic and Hyrule, maybe you can share. Maybe Hyrule, I want to go to you. It's about the new team kits. How can I not ask? My favorite thing. What do you think of the new kits that were launched? I think that the colors for me they were a bit different.
I think Dominic has the jersey behind him. So
I can bring it if you want to see it.
Sorry, it's like my favorite thing of all jerseys.
So this is the one. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe I'll go to Dominic first and I'll go to Hyrule since he's holding it. So Dominic, let's talk about the new Albirex kit, right? I'm seeing it all over social media. The orange is a little bit lighter and a few other elements. Maybe can you explain the new kit to the fans watching out there? What's different about this one?
Because we actually inputted forward as the concept towards our season this year. So if you see, we are actually very different from traditional Albirex jerseys. We go for a lighter orange. So I think it's a much fresher and a much younger look. With this white color at the side, I think it's more clean as well. So I think, there are, of course, mixed, reactions to this jersey, but I personally, I think it's pretty good. So I think, the players will like it. Maybe Alau can,
my goalkeeper is yellow and black, and another one is going to be all pink. So I don't know how I will look like when I'll be wearing an all pink jersey.
Please, can we see the pink one? Because it must be nice. Because the other team that obviously is wearing orange is Hougang. So the tone is so much more different. I noticed as well. But I think it's important that I think kids are important. Everyone who's it's because it's your style, your identity as a club as well. But moving forward, I mean, we're speaking about the Charity Shield game and also the season ahead. But Hyrule, I mean, Tanjong Pagar, you've played against them, I'm pretty sure as well earlier on. What do you make of that game?
It's the first season opener. I think it's a very important game before we kickstart our season. Kickstart the season, because it's the first game, and we would like to have the 3 points for ourselves. If we win or whatsoever, this will gradually improve ourselves during the season. And for me, I think it's a bit of a revenge, because last year I think they spoiled our party for the title, and I hope that we can really take things in our hand during that day.
Amazing. All right, guys, I just want to say all the best for the season ahead, and thank you so much, for joining me today. And before I go, just a bit of a reminder, we are actually going to be giving out a couple of tickets for the Charity Shield game, and this is the question, okay? If you all have been watching the show, you would know. The question is, what is Hairul Nizam's other role at Albirex Niigata? I'm going to repeat that again. What is Hairul Nizam's other role at Albirex Niigata? Besides, being a goalkeeper for the club. And of course, leave your comments below in the post, and of course the correct answer stands to watch the Charity Shield game live at Jalan Besar Stadium on Saturday. So thank you so much, Fadil, Dominic as well as Hyrule for joining me today, and all the best for the upcoming season ahead.